I'm going to talk about some good players that are 3% or under in ownership. I think in defence, forwards and rucks, we're going to really struggle with our picks because our options aren't good. So I think we're going to have to dig a bit deeper. I've been playing around with PowerPoint, getting pretty good at it. Just mucking around with a few default designs, so it looks good. So I've been looking at like Big Footy, like all the team boards, Supercoach scores. I've been reading the training reports and everything, so a few role changes and stuff. So I think we're gonna have some good picks this year that are not being recognised much. We'll start off with McDonald. He's starting to pick up. I'm surprised he's only 3%, but I think that is definitely going to go up in a few weeks or few days towards the round one. So he's 100% going to be North's next captain. He's been training with the midfield group. He's still pretty young, but 23 is a good age. He's played 50, 60 games or something, so that's really good. And he's got a new haircut for this year, so that's usually a sign of confidence, or that's a good sign, I think. So I like Luke McDonald. 22 games last year was good, so I'll be picking him. North's midfield isn't that crowded, so I think he could end up as a top 2 midfielder there. I'm picking Luke McDonald. I like that pick. Next, we'll look at Jeremy McGovern. He can play despite being a bit overweight. I think it suits him, but he had his best year. Played 22 games. That's so important that he plays. That he's consistent and durable. Averaged 90. Had 145 against Port last year, who wasted pretty much every chance they got. The reason why I'm thinking about Jeremy McGovern is West Coast midfield is pretty much Shuey on the inside, Gaff on the outside, and then a whole bunch of kids. Pretty much they're doing an apprenticeship, really. So when they play Geelong and Adelaide and the strong midfields, I guess you can say Richmond as well, they're going to get destroyed. So McGovern's going to have his work cut out for him. And I don't know how the dimensions of the ground will affect his game, but I'm not sure. I mean, there'll be more room because it is wider than Subiaco, so that could play in his favour. I wouldn't use the MCG as an example because he doesn't play enough on the MCG, but now they're going to be training there every week, so they're going to get used to it. So I don't think it'll make a big difference. Good old Jeremy McGovern. He's not in my team, but it's possible at this stage. Okay, we'll look at Dyson Heppell. So he's only 1% and he's pretty cheap. Last year, by his own admission, he said he didn't have his best year. But he's worked really hard this pre-season. I mean, 2015, 2016, I think, well, 2 years before the ban. No, it would have been 14 and 15. He had pretty good seasons, 43 games, 106 and 104 average. He's really durable, but I've been reading the Big Footy reports on the people that went to the intra-club that actually watched the game. And even though it was an intra-club, it's still, you can still see the body shapes, the changes. I don't know, maybe just the way they play looks a bit more fluid sort of thing. So some of the comments were, Heppell and Zach Merritt are a class above everyone else. And someone said Heppell was 10 times the player he was last year. That kind of sucked me into him, I guess. I have Heppell and Cripps, so Heppell's in my team. He's not going to be a top 10 midfielder. I think maybe top 13, 14 maybe. I think he's more than capable of doing that. So, and at his price, I think I'm happy with that. Because instead of buying a 600,000 midfielder, playing around with 50,000 during the year can like make or break your team. So, yeah, I like Dyson Heppell. Good old captain. So he'll be consistent. So here we have Lachie Neale. So yeah, last year he had 109 average for the season, but if you take out his injury affected 44, he was really sore that game, and Ross Lyons said we shouldn't have played him. And he had like under 10 disposals, which is unheard of for him. So he would have averaged 112 the last 2 seasons. I think with Fremantle improving, and the midfield will improve, Fife will get better, Walters will go in the midfield a bit, and they'll play a few like high draft picks in the midfield that will give them some support, hopefully. So, yeah, I mean, they were young, but still, whoever they had before wasn't doing much good. So, yeah, he's a good kick as well, which is good. So, I like Lachie Neale. I'm not picking him. I prefer Matt Crouch. I think if you are picking a 600k midfielder, and they have the round 14 bye, I think it's Matt Crouch, but I think you can also go for Lachie Neale. He can still improve a bit. He's starting to kick a bit more goals, which is good. So, I don't mind Lachie Neale. I'd prefer Lachie Neale to Zach Merritt, and maybe Oliver, because I think like Oliver hasn't even played 50 games, so I'm just not sure how he'll go. Anyway, I like Lachie Neale, but we're gonna pass on him. We have Toby Nankervis for the ruck. So yeah, the rucks are a complete shambles this year. No one knows what to do. But in his first year, he played 21 games and averaged 89 pretty much. That's really impressive for, because a lot of ruckmen take a longer time to develop. But like, Supercoach like kind of looked after him. He scored pretty well. He went forward. He scored well. And if Soldo plays, the Croatian guy, then Nank will rest forwards. And that's not too bad because Nank can kick a few goals. So I like Nankervis. Is he going to be top 3 ruck? Probably not. But the thing is, at his price, and pretty much all the rucks have their issues at the moment. Cruz has been injury prone. He's not going to back it up. Ryder's got the bye. And everyone else has some sort of injury niggle or a secondary ruckman that's going to stuff him around. So I think I'm going to pick Toby Nankervis. Yeah, it's a tough one, the rucks, but I think he has a little bit of upside, and I don't think he has much downside. So I just see him as a solid pick, whereas I don't trust anyone else. So I don't mind Nankervis. Alright, next we have Dawson Simpson. So this is an interesting one. He played 2 games last year. He got 88 points, but I don't think you can read into that too much. I mean, if you're the number 1 ruck at your club, you're probably going to score pretty well if you're a solo ruck. It's just how scoring works, I guess. But this is pretty much dependent on Lob's injury. So Lob has groin injuries at the moment. And groin injuries, I know my friend had it, and he had to see specialists, and I think it took him like 18 months to get over it. But they're really complicated injuries, and already it's like 5 weeks out from round 1, and he's saying he's missing round 1. So that's not a good sign for Lob, but it's a good sign for us because it means we might be able to start Dawson Simpson. We'll see what the reports are closer towards the start of the season. But yeah, I think I'll pick Dawson Simpson if we know Lob will be out for a while. So yeah, it could be a make or break thing, because if he averages 90 and no one else has him, well, I said it's not averaging 90. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes down. So keep an eye on Dawson Simpson. And finally we have Jarryd Roughead. So he had a bit of a slow start to last season. He had a year off with cancer, so it's understandable. But after the bye, he started running out games a lot better, and he averaged 92.5. At his price, I think it's reasonable. It's not great, but he's been durable for a very long time, and he actually plays a lot. Like, he does a lot of running up the ground, so he'll play between the arcs a fair bit. That's what he was doing at the intra-club training. So I like Jarryd Roughead. Now, I did do a bit of research just before, like once I finished my beautiful PowerPoint presentation. And apparently he had surgery back in December, like a knee clean out. So similar to Isaac Heaney, and Heaney seems to be fine. So, but apparently Roughead's been fine at training, so yeah. All the forwards are they've all had interrupted pre-seasons, which makes it really difficult. So Roughead's actually in my team. It used to be Robbie Gray and Billings, but this past week they've both had a few hiccups. So if you do a hamstring 5 weeks from the pre-season from round 1, then I'm not going to pick you. So that's why I'm off Billings. So I don't mind Jarryd Roughead. If the other guys were fit, I'd pick someone else, but pretty much like all the top forwards have interrupted pre-season, so it'll be a bit of wait and see. So yeah, that's my what I like to call hidden gems, I guess. Under 3%, so they're kind of hard to find. So out of these guys, I'll definitely be picking Luke McDonald. I think I'm going to pick Dyson Heppell. I'm going to pick Nankervis or Simpson, I think. I've convinced myself out of all the other rucks. And I'm going to pick, at this stage, Jarryd Roughead. We'll see how he goes in the JLT, if his knee looks good, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, those are the players I think will do okay this year.